Kyle, thanks so much for being on. Let me get situated. Hold on. I'm actually working from home today. Okay, let's see. Oh, now I see Andrea Caper. I still say Vogler. Sorry. Such a bad habit. Hi. Oh my gosh, everybody's on. Okay, sorry. Heather's gonna admit while I see somebody with Kim Nelson. Oh, it was Heather. Okay, awesome. And now I see Todd Russell. Okay, I'm seeing everybody. Awesome. Kelly's on. We got the whole crew. Hey, Jen. Thank you guys so much for being on. So, two things to preface before I start today. I know we have more people still jumping on. Yep, admit. Oh, somebody from New Jersey. Okay. Heather, are you? Yeah, okay. Heather's going to admit. I'm not going to worry about that. Hi, Kyle. Two things to preface today with. Number one, I have a major Taylor Swift hangover today. Not from alcohol in any way, because I stopped drinking, but I did take Amelia last minute to the Taylor Swift concert in Miami, and I'm still like a little bit Taylor Swift hungover. It was like insane. I've never been to anything like that in my whole entire life. So I'm still getting situated. And number two, I got glasses, you guys, like actual glasses. And I'm kind of trying to figure out if I like them or not. Like I can see you guys so much better, but if I look around, it's kind of dizzy. So anyway, I'm going to get used to it. So sorry if I look a little.
Praise the Lord. You have been squinting for
I
years.
know. I know. Adam and Heather are so proud of me, but I have like two different pairs because you guys, they said progressive bifocals. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, I don't know about the word bifocal.
They're beautiful.
Thank you, but here I am. So at least I can see you guys, and I'm trying. Okay, so we are going to talk about setting you guys up for a great 2025. And let me share my screen really quickly. And I want this to be a little bit participatory if we can. And the reason is because some of it, and you guys don't have to you can unmute or you can just type in the chat too. But I have a few exercises that I do want you to actually do, at least write a couple things down, because I know many of you, and if you're like me, you'll get off the Zoom and you will have every wonderful, great intention of going back and doing these, yet you probably never will. So I want to go through a couple of things, but first I want to share with you what's going to be the focus of today. And it's this quote from John Maxwell. Linda, if you listen to our podcast, Linda and I've talked about this on the podcast so many times. John says the two key indicators of success are preparation on the front end and reflection on the back end. And so today we're actually going to flip flop them. We're going to talk about reflection first, and then we're going to talk about preparation, only because we're at the end of the year kind of ish. And so I want you guys to go through that. But John Maxwell has preached for years. If you have been to anything, you probably heard him say it. He, as a student of his mentorship, like he always says, if you want to be successful, you have to get really great at preparation and really good at reflection. And Linda and I have joked because if you don't have to, but raise your digital hand if you feel like you suck at both. Like Linda and I are like, we've always been horrible at both. Like we aren't really great preparers. We never slow down enough to take time to reflect. And so over the last couple of years, we've really been trying to get a lot more intentional about preparing. And that's a lot with goal setting, you guys, and then reflecting. So what I'm going to walk through today are a few things of both of these. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you a little bit about something I have coming up that I definitely want you to be a part of. So first, we're going to talk about reflection. We're kind of flip-flopping them because we are at October 22nd. And in real estate world, as many of you guys know, we're pretty much done with the year by the middle of November. Like if you don't have something pending or under contract, unless you have a cash buyer and you find them something quick, like your transactions are pretty much done. I always tell people like by November 15th, just to be safe. You still may after that, be able to bust one out, and great for you. But typically coming into Q4, the bulk of our year is done. So I want to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk a lot about your business, but also, and you guys know this, many of you know this about me if you've taken anything or ever listened to a word that I've said. I want you to be successful in your business and in your personal life and in your spirituality and in your health and in your wealth and in, your whole wheel of life, which is why I love to teach the wheel of life. Because if you aren't, I actually was listening to this podcast this morning, and she was saying, I have a really big passion for moms right now, because if you aren't feeling like you're being a good mom, then that folds over into your business life, and then you probably aren't feeling like you're being a good business, and same for dads or vice versa. So I want to talk a little bit about all of those things. This is a tool, and this is one of the things that we are going to take just a couple minutes, less than 5, 3 maybe, to do right now. This is called the Positive Focus. This is an amazing tool. It's a 1-pager sheet. I love a good 1-pager. This comes from Strategic Coaching with Dan Sullivan. I have used this for years. Linda McKissick taught me this. I know some of you, Stephanie, you've probably seen this, but if you haven't, this is such a great tool. And I'll find a way to actually, in a minute, I'll drop this in the chat too, so you can actually have the worksheet, because you guys should use it moving forward. Through Strategic Coaching, Dan Sullivan wants, I think Linda has said, he expects them to do this quarterly. And so I want to walk you through a minute and explain to you what this is. The Positive Focus, this is a great reflection tool. You go through and you list as your biggest, I'm just going to say this year. So let's just pretend like we're going to do this for the whole year. But if you were doing this quarterly or monthly or whatever, you're going to list your 5 biggest achievements for us for the year. So like, what is a huge achievement that you had? And then the reason why in the next box. So you go that way, like left to right. First is the achievement, then the reason why. Why was that such an achievement for you? The next one is further. Oh, let me go back to achievement. You describe what you accomplished. These can be business or personal items, big or small. But what was it that was the achievement, and what was the reason why? Explain why this was an achievement for you, telling yourself this will reinforce the progress that you've made and will help keep you in a positive frame of mind. The next one is further progress. Some of these, by the way, you may not have further progress on, and that's okay. But if you do, for some of the items, it says there will likely be further progress that you can make. If so, make a note of it here. If not, then just leave it blank. The 5th one is specific action. What specific action can you take to make this further progress actually like happen? So you might need to call somebody, meet somebody, do a follow-up, etc. The reason why I love this tool is a couple of reasons. Number one, it forces you to reflect. Like, it actually forces you to spend time on reflection. Number two, it forces you to slow down a little bit, right? Like, it actually forces you to slow down and to be able to think. One of the things a story that I love about this is actually a story that Linda has told. And she said some of you have heard me say this. So if you have, it's just a great reminder. Remember, it might not be about learning something new, but remembering what is true. One of my favorite quotes. Linda shares the story that the first time that Dan Sullivan had she and Jimmy do this, she was like sitting there thinking. And then finally, I think it was Jimmy or somebody looked over and said, "Hey, didn't you just write like a national best-selling book called Hold?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, yes, we did." And it hit the national bestseller list. And she had completely she'd forgotten that she even wrote the book, because like all of us, like many achievers, she was on to the next thing. So this forces you to slow down. So I just want to take like 30 seconds. Who can just in the chat, it might be many of you, I would love to see as many as possible. Does anybody want to put in the chat, if you just think about it for a minute, take a few seconds and think about it. What was something big that you accomplished? What was a big achievement this year that you had? I at least want to see one before we move on, but a big achievement that you had this year, something big that you accomplished that you're like, man, I'm so proud of myself for this. And I had it on our list. While you guys are thinking and typing, I'll go first. Mine is actually a personal one. Oh, you guys are all coming in. Okay, never mind. Let's read yours. Oh, Heather put it in the chat for you guys. Thanks, Heather. Okay, great. Chris said, "Yep, I improved my." Wait, Chris, you still have on a Santa hat in your picture, by the way, which is kind of cracking me up. Me with the glasses and you with the Santa hat. I improved my GCI from the terror that last year was. That is a great accomplishment. I love it. Oh, JJ King graduated high school. Love that. That's a huge one. Huge one. Paid cash for my daughter's wedding, Sharon. That's a great achievement. Love it. Built out a design product to begin selling to investor clients. Love that. Great one. Andrea, I'm so glad you said that. Grew my team with a rock star agent. Such a good one. Kim Nelson, yep, starting a new career. Thankfully with us. I love it. Chris said it's almost that time. Stephanie, I knew you were going to say this. I was hoping you were going to say this. I was able to take the trip of a lifetime to Africa for safari in South Africa. Yep, been on your bucket list forever. I was gone 14 days and didn't work 1 minute. That is amazing. Love it. Oh, I definitely have to heart Dylan started at Keller Williams. Dylan, that was an achievement for me. You starting at Keller Williams was also one of my achievements. So glad that worked out. Emily, love yours. Oh my gosh, awarded Rising Star. Love it. Scott, yep, huge one. Wow, left leadership at a different brokerage, rejoined KP. Love it, love it, love it. Todd, oh my gosh, that is an insane one. Closed a $1.4 million sales. That's your biggest ever, right? Wow. Oh my gosh, love it, love it, love it. Paula took my family. Look how many you guys have exceeded my income goal for the year. Took my family to Italy. So good. Completed Ignite. Jamie, that is definitely it. Love it. Yep, Dylan featured on the growth call. There are so many. Oh, Ashley quit my 9-to-5 job, joined Brick House. Love it. Gary said survived. You know what? Honestly, I feel like that sometimes too. And that can 100% be an achievement, is getting through and surviving. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. One of my big ones, just to share with you guys, and some of you know this, but we on my vision board for the year, which you're going to see, we went and took our family to the Dominican Republic on a mission trip. We've been planning to do it for a couple years, and it was like extremely impactful. So really, really happy about that. But thank you guys to everybody who shared. Doesn't that feel good to just take a minute and like think about your achievements? I love that. So I encourage you in the chat to download the Positive Focus worksheet and put this on your list. Do this. Honestly, it would be great if you did it every quarter. I aim to do this every quarter. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't, if I'm being transparent. It's just so good. And there may be things too, by the way, that you have further progress on. And that's great. But this is one of them. When I think about having a successful year, the tools I'm going to share with you today, these are all things that have worked. Like they work for me, like they have worked. I can give you an example. They have contributed to the success that I've been blessed with, to a lot of other successful people that I know. Let's see. Yes. Heather, do you have the page 1 instruction sheet? And if not, yes, that would be very helpful. Hold on a second. Let me see if how do I get out of here? Hold on one second, guys. Let me just throw it in there really fast for you, so that hold on. Positive Focus. Well, hold on. No, I have a better way of finding it. Hold on, because it is good. You guys definitely do need it's good. Here we go. Okay. Might have it in there. I don't have it, but I got it. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that I just showed you is the play from current slide. It's the instruction sheet and the blank one. So highly encourage you to use that. Okay, so now let's talk about more reflection. First of all, I would highly encourage you, as you're reflecting this last quarter, revisit your goals and your vision board. I know many of you have vision boards. If you don't have one, that's okay. Let me tell you that you need one for next year. Like 100% you need one. Heather, shoot, I don't know if you can do this, but can you put the link to the template in case they want it in the chat, please? And if not, we can send it out to you guys. You're welcome, Paula. We can send it to you guys later, but this is mine for this year. And I know this stresses y'all like out. Some of y'all are like, this is nuts. But just remember, I've been doing this for years. So yours does not have to look like mine, and mine doesn't have to look like yours. Like, remember, like we all run our own race, but putting things visually, first of all, just writing a goal down makes you 76% more likely to accomplish the goal. Number one. Number two, putting it visually in front of you. And what I mean by in front of you is like, mine is on my on my lock screensaver. It's hanging up in my offices. I have it framed. It's the backdrop of my computer screen. Like, I really believe in having it in front of you. And so I just want to challenge you guys, but also like sometimes it'll be in front of me, but I'll forget things. So like, are you really visually, can you reflect on the things this year if you did have one? And is there anything left that you're like, man, I haven't done that? but I still can knock that out in the next 60 days. Is there a goal that you haven't hit that if you got really committed, you could still achieve that in the last 60 days? This is part of reflection, but it's moving into preparation. Some of these things I'm not going to accomplish this year, and that's okay because they're going to stay on next year and the next year and the next year. And then, by the way, some things are going to come off, and that's okay too. Like your things change, your life changes. Like you can take things off, but I do want to encourage you to go ahead and revisit your vision board for those of you that do have one and see what else you have left to accomplish. The second is revisiting your 411. This is an old one of mine. Again, this is going to stress some of you guys out, I know. But even if you have a couple of categories, like this is old, so this isn't accurate anymore for me. My new one is like a little bit of a mess right now. But for those of you that have never seen this, this is a 411. And what it is you have your big 5-year goals, and then you break those down to say, okay, for 2025, next year, what do I want to accomplish in order to get to the 5-year goals? Because you want the 5-year goals to pull you there. Those of you that study Ben Hardy or have ever read, actually, let me go back because that book was on here, because eventually I'm going to hold a book club on this book, but didn't happen this year. Be Your Future Self Now. It's the blue book at the very bottom. This is, and I'm actually going to give you some questions from Ben that Linda just gave me this morning that I added in here really fast because I was like, man, those are so good. I need to share those today. But you want your goal, you want to be pulled towards your goals. So if you're reflecting, I want you to look back on, if you have a 411, I want you to look back on your 411 for the year and see what else is there. Like what else is out there. You will notice, again, this is an old one of mine, but it's still pretty accurate. You'll notice that I have business stuff on here, which is on the left, but then any of you that I've ever had do a 411, which by the way, Dylan Ballard, just get ready because yours is going to have to come for 2025. We're going to make yours. On the right, I don't let you take off the personal stuff. Like I still want you to have personal development. I still want you to have financial, family, spiritual, physical. Those are all the wheels of life. And remember, in order to be successful, like you need to have goals and be successful in those too. So I want you to revisit your 411 as you're reflecting. And some of you may just have had goals written down and it might even not be this detailed out. Like, again, I've been doing this for years. So, and some of you have too, and yours might look like this. And if they don't, like, that's okay. And actually, I can tell you right now for next year, mine is going to be a lot more simplified than this because I'm trying to work on simplifying things and like really getting, requires access. Oh, good. Heather. See, I can't see the chat. Heather's sharing a blank one with you guys. Okay. We'll either give you access or give you one that doesn't, but please take this and use it, you guys. Like when I think about tools that lead to an successful year, this is it. Like a 411 is it. And again, you don't need that many categories at the top, but even if you just have a few for your business, and then your personal, like this, or the other right side, this is going to help you drastically. And I want you to reflect on the ones of you that do have, or the goals that you had, and see what else you need to do. Next, I got her permission to share this, but reflection number 3 is, do you even know your numbers? And I know not all of you do. And you know what? I have no judgment. I am not judging you at all. In order to help you reflect properly, you need to know your numbers and where do you stand now and what's left to close by the end of the year in order to set your goals for next year, right? Because we want to know, like, did you accomplish the things did you hit the goals that you had? So this is a spreadsheet. It's really going to be hard to see, but I don't know if Megan, so one of my friends and coaching clients, Megan Dusing in Indianapolis, I don't know if she's on here. If you are, Megan, sorry, I didn't ask for permission, but she made this template. It's just super simple transaction. Like it's called a profit calculator. Sarah, we also have a super great one that I can share with you guys too. If you registered for this, then we'll just email it to you because I don't think I have it like blank. But you need some sort of a way to know your numbers and to track your transactions. And Emily recently moving over to KW, I was like, that you have to do this. So I copied Megan, sent it to her. And like she already had hers. Great job, Emily. Already had hers filled out. Like I think in 2 weeks of coming over, like it was quick. She was on it. but it basically tracks all of your closing. So you know where you're at all the time, you know how much GCI you already have, you know how much you have pending, you know your future pipeline, like who's coming up and what does that potential commission look like. Where, and this is really important for preparation for the next year goals, but like, where are your clients coming from? Are they Sphere? Are they past clients? Is it FSBO? Is it social media? You know, whatever. But as we reflect on 2024, I just want to challenge you guys to, do you know your numbers? Do you have a system or a spreadsheet that you can look at any minute and say, okay, my goal was 50 units this year. I've closed 34. I have 14 pending. Like, I'm maybe not going to hit the goal, but I'm going to be pretty close to it. In order to have a successful year, I would highly encourage you. I need you guys to track your transactions, know where you're at, and then know what you have coming, right? Because that also pulls you towards your future. And if you have any questions on this, just type them in the chat and I'll make sure that I get them. If you are not using this and you want a system, whether it's this one of Megan and Emily's or whether it's the one Sarah uses, that's pretty similar, like, message me, email us, we'll get you a shared copy. So all you have to do is just delete our stuff and plug in your stuff. But I do want you to reflect on your goals and on your numbers for this year, because as we set your goals for next year, you're gonna need to know those. Yes, okay, Paula, we will definitely get you guys one. I don't know, Heather, what's the best way? Emily's like, she put me on blast and it's not even accurate. That's okay. It was a good example for people just to see. Wait, and so, okay, I told you that you didn't need to be prepared for this at all. But Emily, will you just unmute for 2 seconds and share, like, did this give you, she's like, no, did this help you? Like, did you find this helpful? Did it give you clarity?
It did. It was really helpful for me, just from like kind of going through all my things from the past year and figuring out where people were coming from and focusing on that, because kind of, as you mentioned, like kind of going back to basics, I was like, okay, where are my people coming from? And it's all been Sphere or referrals. And so I was like, stop spending money on, postcards and things that haven't actually brought me business, and just keep focusing on my people. And that's just where all my businesses come from. So it was actually very, very helpful as that exercise from a mental standpoint, but also then, okay, if I want to make X for the year and hit our budgets as a family and do these things, what do I need to do? But I am laughing because I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're going to show this part, because I was totally playing around with numbers like an hour ago, trying to redo a bunch of things. So I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. They really can't see that anyway. We'll give them the blank template, but thank you for letting me use you as an example, by the way, because I know that just by you doing that, you're already going to be set up for a better 2025, because you're just going to have the clarity that you need. I mean, it's going to be so helpful.
Yeah, well, and one thing that, like, I remember when I was talking to you about this and kind of talking again about referrals and Sphere, I've always done an event that this year I was going to cancel because I was like, oh, like, I don't know if I need to spend the money on it. But I decided, I was like, no, these are my people. I'm going to do it again. And already from doing that, I've had 3 clients reach out to me. One that I'm showing a house on Thursday that they were kind of like retiring from looking at houses and now they're back. And then 2 others that have said, oh, I have someone that I want to contact you with. And so it was, again, just a reminder to focus on my people and then focus on spending money where the money's coming from.
Love it. Great job. Love it. So good. So good. Thank you, Emily. Stephanie, did you?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, my director of operations tracks who comes to each event and how many people of those have sent a referral, so that we know those events are generating referrals, or how many of those people then do business with us in that calendar year. And then also with these numbers in the P&L, I enter Emily. I don't do this. I won't take credit. Emily enters the source. And then we have all the income in there, so that then I can track my net profit every month, which is equally as important as your income.
Gross.
So, I can share, or I would have to exit all out, but I can also share with Heather, and she can share later the profit and loss. It's got all the percentages and everything, my spreadsheet for that.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. If you share it to Heather, then we can make a blank copy too and share with everybody. But very helpful, you guys, in reflecting and in setting up for a great year. One more, I think I just have two more actually on, here we go, on reflection. This is another tool. I'm overloading you guys with tools today, but I promise they work. This is one from our office. So this is a Market Center GPS. I couldn't find a personal one, but a GPS stands for goals, priorities, and systems. We also call this a 135. This is an amazing tool, and we can share a blank one with you also. And it might, I don't know if it looks like a Market Center, but you can probably edit it. But you have your one big goal for the year, the 3 priorities to get there, and then the 5 strategies that will help you get there. Everything has to be measurable in order to see if you can actually achieve it. So it has to be measurable. And again, Emily and I were just going over hers, I think that was last week, Emily, but I was like, wait a minute, we have to make this one a little bit more measurable. So this goes with your 411. It kind of is in partnership to a GPS and a 411. I would encourage this to be just about your business though. Like number 1 would probably be, for most of you who are going to do this business wise, your number 1 big goal likely needs to be a unit count number. It could be a GCI also, or a profit number, but I would not put volume for 2 reasons. 1, volume is inflated right now, and hopefully it stays that way. But 2, the unit count is really what I would 100% rather see you focus on. Oh, Darian, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. And you're a newer-ish agent. So I'm so glad to see you starting on the right foot with that. Yes. The positives of productivity coaching. Awesome. But we have blank ones of these that we can send for you guys. But just if you had one, for those of you that did have one, how have you done? How close did you get to hitting your goals? Okay. And then these are some reflective questions. These came from Ben Hardy, and these are the ones that Linda shared with me this morning. And I was like, oh man, I need to put these in. But I want to go over them with you really quickly before we move on to the preparation part. Oh, perfect. I'm halfway through. This is perfect timing. Number 1 is looking back over the last 10 months. What's the most significant change or changes that should say that you have made? Sorry, that's me typing fast, that you have made. And I would also love for this to be a chat exercise. If anyone can put in the chat, think about for a couple of seconds, what is a big significant change that you've made this year that has helped you either grow, push towards your goals, achieve something that you wanted to achieve? Anything you guys can think of in the chat, the most significant changes that you have made. I would love to. I had to really think about this one too, and I'm going to make my list. Oh yeah, love it. Yep. Finally decided to get my real estate license, started financial peace for my family. That's such a great one. Yep, love it. Oh, I missed one. Sorry. Christina, outsourcing, finding people who love doing what I don't love doing. That will pay dividends. Actually calling people in my database. Yes, Paula, that's a great one that I have been uncomfortable calling. So good. And if you like haven't made any changes this year, I'm sure you have, you probably just can't think about it. Oh yeah, Steph, I made it a priority to follow a strict budget January through May, which enabled me to mark multiple items. Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. I can tell you guys one of the most significant changes that I've made this year, and that's actually more so than ever this year, sticking to my time block calendar, which I'm going to talk to you guys about too. And I'll show you an example of what I do that works for me. It may not work for you, but I'll show it to you anyway. And then another super significant change that's not business, but that's personal, is I really heavily follow 80-20 with my eating. I'm not eating processed foods. And I can tell you when I do now, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. It's like my stomach is a mess. But I'm really trying 80% of the time to eat just whole foods without any processed in them. And it's a huge change, but that's a lifestyle change. Oh my gosh. But what changes have you made? Oh, JJ, I started to do affirmations and developed a true love for myself. That's such a great one. The second question is, where have you raised your frame, which means your strategy? So, and this is just something for you guys to think about. And it goes with the next one. Where have you raised your floor or your systems? We've already talked about a lot of systems today that many of you guys have already put into place. You are continuing to put systems in. Just remember, and I had to learn this the hard way, like your natural charisma will only get you so far. Systems are what really keeps you there and pushes you even further. So where have you implemented a new strategy, maybe for your business? Where have you implemented a new system? And then where have you improved and intensified your focus? Because focus is the only way to scale. And actually, I don't want to give it totally away, but Linda and I recorded a new podcast episode this morning. And I don't know, I think it'll drop either this week or next week, but she's doing Ben Hardy's 90-day challenge. And these are some of the questions that he gave them, which is the ones I'm sharing with you guys. Because she shared them with me, and you set a big, huge, impossible goal that you like, it's impossible that you don't think you can accomplish in 90 days. And you do a 90-day transformation, and like he walks you through it, and you have accountability partner. But this was so good. Linda shared a couple of the things. I'll just share with you a couple. She said, a lot of times you have to change in order to scale something or to really hit your goal. You might have to, the activities that you're doing have to change. Otherwise, how we would know it said is your 20%, like your 20% focus has to change. You have to do the 20% of the future activities, not the ones that you're doing now. But I said to Linda, but what if those things have to be done? And she said, it just can't be you that does them anymore. Like, it doesn't mean the activities stop. It just means that the activities stop for you. So somebody else has to do those activities. So she gave the example of she actually asked me a couple of questions, and then we kind of walked through like an example in my life, and then one for her. And it was actually the same for both of us, was when we actually stepped out of selling after several years and moved into leadership, which, by the way, is not everyone's journey, but it just happened to be mine, and just happened to be Linda's, which is why I think I just love her so much. But she said she couldn't, the transactions, the activities, the lead generation couldn't stop. It just wasn't her that did it anymore. It actually ended up being her brother-in-law, Brad, Jimmy's brother. So like Brad had to continue to do the activities. Linda's activities had to change so that she could 10x her life and continue to grow and do something and be able to scale. So if you have a really big goal, which I know many of you do for 2025, there are going to be activities that you're currently doing that the reality is you're probably not going to be able to do those activities anymore. If you want to hit your goal, somebody else is going to have to do those activities for you, which is leverage. But they can't, it just doesn't mean you're going to stop doing those activities, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully. Yes. Okay. I see heads nodding. And then these are the commitment questions that she shared. So I changed the date and said, by the end of November, which is 40 days ish from now, what are you 100% committed to creating and complexing? Meaning like you are, in order to hit the goal, like you have to be committed. So like Linda's, I don't think she would care that I shared this because she shared it on the podcast, which is going to be heard by thousands of people. But hers is a weight goal. She's not at a business goal right now. She has a health goal, and part of the health goal involves her weight. So she is 100% committed through the end of the quarter to doing she's doing the carnivore diet, you guys. So like she's committed to that, but there are going to be things for your business that you're going to be committed to. So what specific results will you get? Is this related to your goals for the year? And are you sure that you're not optimizing something that shouldn't exist? Meaning like, are you spending your time doing something that really you just shouldn't even be doing at all? Because it's not bringing you towards your goals at all. It's not bringing you happiness. Like you're doing it and you're like, why am I doing this? And I don't know if any of you are feeling that way or have felt that way. I 100% have at certain times. So those are just great questions. I'm happy for you guys to just screenshot these or write them down. But if you're reflecting on this year and you're preparing for a great 2025, these are really questions that you should spend some time on. And you may spend them with the people on your team, your spouse, your partner, like your accountability partner, your best friend, whatever. Like I'm excited. Adam and I are going to do these together. A lot of you guys know, but we spend the first week of January, the day after Christmas through the first week of January, and we reflect on the year and we plan for the next year. We take like 7 days, and it's great. It's been one of the greatest things ever. So I'm excited for us to be able to do these questions. Okay. Any questions on, yep, Gary, balance busy kids and 2 businesses. Totally get it. You specifically, Gary, there are definitely going to be some activity type things. that you might have to leverage or let go of, so that you can achieve because you're in a busy season right now. And I love what John Maxwell says, by the way, there's no such thing as a balanced life. There's only different seasons of your life. And that is so true. Some of us are in busier seasons with others or than others. Okay, preparation. A couple of things I want to share with you on preparation. First of all, here's another strategic coaching worksheet, and I'll drop it in the chat in just 1 second. Like kids, Gary's like, yeah, I'm ditching my kids. No more kids activities. This is called the entrepreneurial attitude. And one of the reasons why I absolutely love this is because all of you on this call, more than likely, oh yeah, I really can't see when I take those off. Wow. Okay. This is much better. All of you have an entrepreneurial attitude. Like you are an entrepreneur at heart, or you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now or in the role that you're in. And this is such a great one pager that will prepare you better for next year. So it lists 12 success strategies, creating value, taking initiative, focusing on results, having an ownership attitude, being in alignment, being a good partner, taking action, being open, learn how to handle strong emotions, have patience and compassion, and don't give up. It gives you a description of each of the success strategies. And then remember what Abraham Lincoln says. Does anybody know this? Like, it doesn't do you any good to lie to yourself. It's a famous Abraham Lincoln quote. So don't lie to yourself and rate yourself. Like, where are you really at always working to provide leadership, direction, relationship, and creativity? Like, where are you in creating value? Where are you in focusing on results? Are you focusing on the bigger picture and the desired result, not just the time and effort required? Are you a never? Are you somewhere in between, or are you an always? This is a fantastic preparation tool for your new year. We're actually going to be doing some of these in the business planning clinics, which I'm going to tell you guys about at the end. But for those of you that aren't going to be there, don't live in one of the cities that I have offices in, I wanted to still give it to you. But I really would encourage you guys to do this, like whether you do it in the business planning clinic or you actually just, I'll put in the chat, you print it off and do it. I want you to rate yourself in each of these for next year so that you know where you can improve. It's going to help you have a successful next year. Just, I promise it will. And so this is one. This is tool number one. The second thing I wanted to share with you guys is I love this one pager from James Shaw, 7 things to expect in a shift. Okay. We are in a shifting market, whether you're feeling it right now or not. Some of you are not. But we are in a shifting market. We are in a completely different market than what we have been in the last, 4-ish years, probably. And so some of you I know are still seeing multiple offers. Some of you haven't seen a multiple offer in a long time. We're in this weird shift. We're in a shift of like our industry. We're in a shift of the market. We're in a big shift. And so I think this is so great to I would challenge you guys, print this, keep it with you, this one pager. You might even pull a Dana and laminate it and keep it with you. But I want you to have this because I think this is so good. I love that James Shaw did this, and I would study this and get really good at understanding this. This was I think he put this out at the beginning of the year because remember NAR projected a 17% drop, and it's going to depend. I mean, I don't think we're to 17% yet. But we are in a shift, right? So understanding these 7 things to expect during a shift is going to be really important in preparing you for next year. We are going to be back to seasonality, meaning, we haven't really had a spring market the last 4 years. I shared this in the Kentucky office last week, but like a lot of you guys in the month of August were texting me like, I'm dead. I feel like I'm never going to sell another house again. And I'm like, you guys, this happens every year at back to school. I promise. We're back to like real estate seasonality. And so we are, we're going to feel like maybe a little bit slower winter. We're going to feel a busier pop in the spring. So there's just things you need to expect and know. Number 6, specifically, very much specifically, there we go. Sorry. Double down on lead generation. Huge one for preparation for next year. And by the way, like, don't make a goal that you're going to cold call for 2 hours every day if you're never going to cold call for 2 hours every day. Like, pick a lead generation source that you like to do, that you're going to commit to do. that you can, challenge yourself, but also that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy door knocking, then you're probably never going to door knock. But you can write handwritten notes, or you can get on and direct message people on Facebook and Instagram for an hour every day. Like, what can you do in your lead gen that you like to do? Because this is a point blank fact. And Gary Keller has said it over and over. In a shift, you have to talk to more people to do the same amount of units. Like, it's not really an option. You have to. It's just, as Jason Abrams would say, it's just math. You're going to have to talk to more people. So this is a really good one for you guys to have. Two more quick ones. This is from the Value Squared course that I wanted to share with you guys too. I want you to think about these two things for next year. The first one is, how can you become irreplaceable? If something is useful or needed, it's relevant. If something is relevant, it's valuable. When you consistently deliver relevance and value, you are on the path to becoming irreplaceable. So I do want to challenge you guys as you're preparing for a super great 2025. How can you become irreplaceable in the eyes of your clients? Like, what is it that you need to create? What is it that you need to offer? What more value do you need to add? How can you become irreplaceable? He says this is in fact the driving mission of any touch plan, is for you to become irreplaceable, for you to become the realtor for them, not just a realtor, right? So how can you become irreplaceable? The next one is this one, which is surprise and delight. It's the extra things that you could do. So as you're preparing for 2025, Gary says the agents that deliver the best experiences build surprise and delight into those experiences. If you get the job done without being remarkable, there's nothing to remark about. He says you surprise and delight delivers the 3 R's: reviews, ratings, and referrals. And so if you are wanting to get more reviews, ratings, and referrals, which I think we all want more referrals, right? You're going to have to think about preparing next year to do some things that are going to surprise and delight your clients. Like, what are the extra things that you can do? And again, you don't need to come up with these today, but I just want you to like start getting these things in your head and in your mind so that for next year, you can be able to think about things to surprise and delight. So we're going to end a little early, but last thing for preparing for 2025, we've gone over a lot of these, but these are the tools that in my experience, like you have to have for a successful year. You really need a vision board. You really need a 411. You really need 411, by the way, is for you. Like that was the crazy spreadsheet tracker thing that I showed you with your 5-year goals and then your annual goals. You need a 411 for your business and then for your 5-year goals. But you really need a GPS for your business for just this year. Like, what is your big goal for 2025 when it comes to your business? Again, probably a unit goal, a GCI goal, or a net profit goal. Any of those 3 are fine. But we need to have that so that you guys can continue to look at that throughout the year. It will guide you the whole year. And also another great thing about those, it's how you measure like decisions. So if something comes up and you're like, man, should I do this or should I not do this? You can measure that against your GPS and your 411 and say, okay, is this going to get me closer to my goal? Or is this going to distract me from my goal? Because remember, another lesson I've learned that's really big is every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So you can use these tools as a measuring stick for the things, the other opportunities or the other things that come up in your life. You need a time blocked calendar. And I've used a lot of calendars, you guys, and I can promise you from experience, even Gary Keller still does this. John Maxwell still does this. You need a month at a glance calendar. Like, you need to be able to have a month at a glance calendar where you have, I literally print these like cheap free pages from Google for every month of the year. I already have my 2025s printed. Oh, look at Steph. Yes. Woohoo. I love it. Yep. This will be a game changer for you. Like, any successful person can see their whole month at a glance. You get less stressed out. I promise you. I'm telling you guys, whether you are a very highly scheduled individual or you're not, having a month at a glance, you can have your touches, your touch plans on here. Like, I used to print these out for our team the month at a glance. And it would say, like October 9th, we need to have our Halloween pop buys done. Our Halloween pop buys need to be like delivered on Monday, the 28th. have everything. You can have your personal stuff, you can have your business stuff, but it all needs to be on a month at a glance calendar. Do you have the GPS you guys can send? Yes. Did Heather jump off? I don't know. Heather had to get off early. So let me look 1 second. Hold on. While I'm talking, I'll look. Hold on. Oopsie, hold on. Oopsie, hold on. Okay, let me go back to this really fast. While I look at the GPS. There we go. Okay. Also, you need a transaction tracker. That's the thing I shared earlier that I shared of Megan and Emily's. We can share that one. We can share Stephanie's. We can share the one that Sarah uses. We can, oh, we need the entrepreneurial attitude. Yep. Okay. Yes. Hold on 1 second. Uh-oh. Hold on. Can you please send this? Okay. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay. You need the transaction tracker. So, let me just look. This is going to be really messy, you guys. Hold on. Wait, here's the entrepreneurial attitude. Let me give you that one. And then here's the 7 things to expect in a shift. Let me give you that one. I already gave you the positive focus. Let's see if this will work. Blank GPS. By any chance, do I have a blank GPS on here? I think that's in Canva. You're welcome. You're welcome. Stacy, what was page 11?
You attached it. It was the,
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
Let me
you.
just- Okay, the blank GPS, I need to get you guys, wait a minute. Yep, nope. Okay, I need to get you the blank GPS. So I'll have Heather email you guys out a blank GPS. And if you didn't register and you just hopped on, just email me and Heather will send it to you. And then,
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Dana.
Oh.
I just put one in the chat, but I'm not sure if it's the one you wanted.
oh, thanks. I thought you were gone. Hold on.
Well, I'm driving.
Heather, good gracious. Hold on. Be careful. Click to open. Yes, here's one. And then Heather, can we email them the Canva template one too? This is a good one, but if you want the other template, we can probably send you that one too.
Yes, if you registered, I'll send it out to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. This is actually a really good one that she put in the chat because it explains everything at the top. Where the template that I made in Canva or that Heather made or somebody made, it doesn't have the explanation. So both of these are really, really good. Okay, and then the last thing, you guys, is the tracker. I went over that, and then a coach or an accountability partner. Coaching used to be a luxury and now it's a necessity. I can't impress on that enough. And I don't care if you have a MAPS coach, and I Love Coaching coach, ABC coach, like, I don't care, whatever works best for you. You just need a coach. If you're a new agent, you need to be in productivity coaching. If you're in the top 20%, our team leaders and myself will but also that's consulting, and you need a coach that's going to weekly hold you guys accountable. Or if you are not at the point yet where you can have a coach, then you need an accountability partner. I don't think she's on, but like, I always brag on Tammy Hill in our Richmond office because she always has an accountability partner. It kind of switches every year. For those of you that are doing Bold, you're going to get one I'm sure in Bold, which is going to be great, but you really need an accountability partner or a coach. I have many coaches, but one I've had Terry, she's been my coach for 9 years. And I just can't imagine her not sometimes I don't even need her to talk about my business. I need her to talk about other things, but it's like, just good to have that. So lastly, as we wrap up, and then I want to answer any questions and share anything else I need to. If you are in Kentucky or Ohio, we are going to be sending out the links. Ohio may already have their link out. Kentucky, our venue backed out, so I'm trying to find a new venue, but just save the dates for now and you'll be getting the links. I would love for you to come to the Business Planning Clinic. This will set you up for a great 2025. And by the way, we do the whole wheel of life. Like, we're going to set goals in all areas of your life. We're going to reflect on this year. We're going to go through an economic model, a lead gen model. It's going to be great. I'm also going to have a panel of top agent experts in both business planning clinics this year after lunch that are going to share like what's working for them. What are the things that they can share with you guys, with everybody else? So it's going to be in Lexington. So that way, kind of all of our Kentucky offices, it's like, will be a central point on November 13th. And then on Friday, November 5th, that is a Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, Wednesday. And then November 15th, let me just look at my month at a glance. Yes, Friday. November 15th is the one in Columbus, Ohio. If you aren't there and like you want to drive, I'd love to have you at any of them. But if you've never been to one, I promise that you'll love it. And if you have, I'd love to have you back, because I've always really believed in what John says. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And that's a little harsh, but it's a reality. And I just want you guys to be set up to have the best year that you possibly can next year, whether we're in a shift or not. I believe that you can have, by the way, we have several agents this year who are having their best year that they've ever had. So I want you guys to be able to really come and plan. And if you have a team, I'd love for you to bring your teams or whatever you want to do. There is like a very minimal cost, and that's just for the workbooks, because you guys will get a spiral bound, like printed out workbook to be able to use. Okay, I feel like I went pretty fast. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions or anything that was confusing to you or that you want clarity on? Do you feel like I just puked on you, or are we good? Are we good? Book club. I know I need to bring the book club back. I really do. This year I had so many things to focus on that wasn't one of the things that would like push me closer, but it is on my list for next year. We did the Super Attractor book club year before last, maybe, and it was so good. So, or 2 years ago, I can't remember. It was during the pandemic, so everything was a blur. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all for being on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heather is always on top of everything. Yes, Paula. Anything you guys need, again, if we didn't get it in the chat, just email us and we can send it to you. But I hope this was helpful. I trust that it was, and I'm excited for next year, and anything I can do to help you all, let me know. Steph, were you going to say something? Okay, thought you were. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.